Manchester United has taught Newcastle that a good name is better than riches and gold. Newcastle offered more money for Benjamin Sesko, around 90 million, 95 million euros. Man United offered about 85 million euros. That's plus add-ons. In any case, they offered more money than Newcastle. They offered a better salary than Newcastle. They offered Champions League football. Man United what? 15th place. That's what they offered. But the name Manchester United, the name alone spoke for Man U. They didn't need to do much. New taker. When they drag shoulder with old taker. Everlasting taker in Man U. You know Man United started winning trophies. When he heard the name Man United in comparison to Newcastle, say, who is this one? He knows that, yes, Newcastle is in a better place now. Their project is better now. It might even be better for my career now. But he knows that little chance that he might succeed at Man United. He knows where his legacy will be. He knows the hype he will get. He knows the amount of fans that will love him in comparison to Newcastle. So he's ready to take that risk, take that gamble. That is it. Newcastle have gotten a bitter lesson in this transfer window on where they stand in the football food chain. Where they are. It's not all about money. This is the richest club in the world. Yes, I know they have some financial constraints in terms of PSR, that's profit and sustainability rules in the Premier League. They can't spend anyhow, although they are the richest club. You have to understand that. But in this case, they have better finances because this would have probably catalyzed the sale of Alexander Isak. So they will recover some money from that. But then, Man United stepped in and has hijacked this boy. This is just to tell Newcastle, know your level. Know your mates, not about money. Rejected by Ekitike. Rejected by James Trafford that went to Man United. Rejected by Benjamin Disco now. Rejected by Mbeumo. Rejected by Akuna Matata. The same guy went to Man United. It's like Man United are just even collecting their scouts from Newcastle. Just, what is Newcastle signing? Okay, let's go and get him. Rejection left, right, and center. The amount of people that have rejected those, I'm sure I'm not even spoken. I think they wanted this guy, Delap, that went there to Chelsea. I think they wanted João Pedro too. So many players wanted all that bigger clubs went for. They went there. That is to tell you that know your level. Newcastle, you will like Jackson. You love Michael Jackson. I can give you Nunes. So if you pay me more than Saudi wants to pay, I'll give you Nunes. That's what I can do. I'll give you the add money, then give me a sack. I'm a nice man. You see, I even gave you replacement, then added money. Understand? So let's talk about the Benjamin Sesko to Man United. Let's talk about everything that has to do with that deal, the fee that was paid and everything. Yes, we have bantered Newcastle now. Time to address Manchester and their new home jersey that you can get from the Adidas Steak Store, the away jersey behind, by clicking on link in my bio, or going to our official website, Adidas Steak Store, or message us on WhatsApp with this phone number above. Delivery is worldwide. Go and shop for any jersey now. All the other new clubs kits, you know what I mean? Even the Newcastle new kit is available there. So back to the video. 85 million euros. We have bantered these guys now. But Sesko, at the start's good enough. I think he scored 11 open play games and open play goals last season in the Bundesliga and 13 goals altogether in the Bundesliga last season. Now, from what I've watched, I've not heard this guy well enough. But from what I've watched, he's a very good striker, but like he knows how to shoot. His shooting technique is very good. But where he's poor is probably his shot selection. Sometimes I think he can pass more, he shoots. So that's something that can be worked on. But that's the weakness I saw in him. His shot selection is poor. So he needs to get better shot selection, you understand? But then, personally, I've been saying it throughout this window that I don't think Man United should have gone for this option. Why? They did almost the exact same thing with Højlund. Højlund had 9 goals in Serie A. They went on and paid that, I think the same amount, the same 85 million euros that they are paying for Sesko now. I think Fabrizio said that Leipzig is asking for an improved bid, so maybe it can run up to 90 million euros, whatever the fee might be. They paid that same amount for Højlund, and Højlund has flopped. And now they have gone again for another young striker. See, Man United, I want to be poor like you. See, put your hand on your head and say, may I be poor like Man U? This your poverty is the best type of poverty I've seen in my entire life. This is the greatest level of poverty. Eh? This club, they made Amorim pay for some staff to go for Europa League final. December of last year, they were crying, poor, we're poor, we don't have money, finances are bad. Ineos is cutting this, Ineos is cutting payment to this, Ineos is done, roof is leaking, rats is running the stadium, electricity, all these things, they were crying. All of a sudden, transfer window has reached. Cunha, 60 plus million. Mbuemo, 70 plus million pounds. Benjamin Disco now, 85 million plus euros. Other signings will still be made. So over 200 million pounds have been spent by a poor club. A club that the finances are bad. When you now have money, what will be happening? You spend 1 billion per window, right? Hey, man, you can lie. That's why they are called the Red Devils. All the vices, you pack them, lie, deceit, greed. Because it's quite amazing to me that in one transfer window, Man United has been able to change their front three. The front three that was lackluster, poor, they have upgraded on Garnacho, they have upgraded on Højlund, because I think no matter what, it's still an upgrade on Højlund, and they have upgraded also. I think Mbeumo is better than Diallo just because he's more experienced and he outdid Diallo last season. But Diallo obviously has prospects and potentials to go higher and better. So yeah, but Man United has absolutely changed their front three. Now, as I was saying, my issue with this is that I do think Sesko is still a massive gamble. For me, the route that I didn't know Man United has this amount of cash, because they were saying they cannot sign player if they don't sell player. When the Bruno Fernandes £100 million deal fell through, Man United was doing, we cannot sign anybody. If Bruno doesn't go, before I know, they have signed 3 attackers. Very good. So there's money now. Everybody knows that now. I thought that if you have this 100 million euros, go for a Mateta, go for a Watkins, go for a striker that will play for 1-2 years, right? When you do well, you now go for a better striker, a more experienced striker, like how Liverpool wants to do in going for an Isak. Your project will look better, more inspiring. And now you address a more important position, your midfield. The midfield of Man United is not good enough. Ugarte is not good. I said this in the last video. You can get that Carlos Baliba if you dropped 70 million pounds, 7 million euros or 60 for Brighton, they will listen to you. There are midfielders that you need some. I said it that you need somebody like Marc Casado at Barcelona. Since Barcelona wants to sell, you can go and try and get the boy. You don't need an attacking midfielder. You need a metronome, a controller, a player that is comfortable with holding the ball. Not that immediate like Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes, that's not his forte. Bruno Fernandes is your blockbuster, your final action. That player that when he gets the ball, he's looking for one thing to happen. That final pass. That is not Bruno's job to control the game and stuff like that. No, his job, final pass, all those kind of stuff. You need a midfielder that their primary job is to circulate the football. He can take the football from the centre backs under pressure or the keeper under pressure, turn and pass or give a good pass, relieve pressure, maintain possession. That is what you need now. Ugarte, they said he's a good destroyer. He was not destroying anything, especially that last game against Everton. He was bad. Casemiro, his best years are behind him. And even when he was in his prime, it was not his job. That was Cruz's job. That was Modric's job. Casemiro was there as a destroyer to spoil the play, and he could, occasionally chip in with some kind of goals and stuff like that. But his job was not that. You need someone like a Rodri in your team. And if you have this cash at your disposal, go for a midfielder. See, PSG has shown us in the last season that the midfield is your most important position. That midfield, once you get it, see, other parts can fall in place somehow. And I was disappointed that Man United has this cash at their disposal and they didn't even try and go for a midfielder, their most important position. I don't know, the recruitment is still not at the highest level. Look, I said the front three is a very, very good upgrade, way better than last season. Between the strikers, I think they have at least 3 times more than your last attackers scored last season. So your goals are definitely going to go up. But that midfield is still very important. Because when people can bypass, we saw it now, against Everton. Everton was bypassing. Look at Ugarte. The first goal Everton scored in that last game, it was from Ugarte making a mistake. Many times he could not carry the ball, he could not run. Ugarte cannot do anything. Ungrateful can't do nothing. So you need a midfielder. They should still go for a midfielder. Because Man United has cash. They are lying. I don't believe Man U again. Anything I said is a lie. They lie. And on a very serious note, Amorim. Top 4. That's it. Forget all this. He finished 15 last season. Don't allow them to deceive you with that propaganda. You should be competing for the top 4. In fact, for the league. But let's keep it modest. Top 4. You are not playing any other serious competition. You are not in Europe at all. You are playing one game a week. 1 game a week. You have been backed with over 200 million. That puts Manchester United in about second place in money spent or third place behind Liverpool and Chelsea. They're in the top 5 at least. You cannot be in the top 5 of spending and be a club of Man United side and want to come and justify a manager finishing outside the top 4 or Champions League places. It's not possible. Champions League should be requested from Amorim. He has been fully backed. He has gotten his preseason. No excuse. I think in modern day football, one thing my mistake we're making is that all this rebuild will take years. Is a lie. I'll use Arne Slot as an example. Yes, he inherited a decent team, but nobody saw that as a title challenging team. They saw it as a top 4 team or a team that won't struggle to enter the top 4. And he changed that whole narrative. Amorim, you have been fully backed. You have been more than backed. You have been backed better than many managers. You have to perform. The pressure is on you. 1 game a week, Champions League spots should be expected. Man United fans, do not say, if the team finish in the top 10, they try. It's a lie. This is Manchester United. There's a reason why when Newcastle went for Sesko with a better proposal, he chose you guys. That was not built on finishing outside the top 10 consecutively for many years. That was not built on being a club that is a laughing stock in recent years. That was not built on finishing in 15th place. That was not built on not playing in the Champions League. That was built by winning trebles, Premier League titles, Champions Leagues. That was built by once upon a time being the most successful club in England before Liverpool surpassed you very recently. And when most of us grew up, in our growing up process, the club that we saw win the most was Manchester United. That's from the English teams. So this is a club at the zenith of football. And the standards should be at the zenith. They should have been dropped. Don't be deceived because of your recent forms and just get carried away. No. Demand this from Amorim. He has been backed. I know he has a say in this transfer, no matter, yes, I know there's a sporting director or stuff like that, but I'm sure he wants these transfers. He has gotten his striker. He has gotten his wingers. I would have said, yes, a midfielder is necessary, but the money he has gotten already is better than many managers. It's better than one Slot got in his first season that he won the league. Slot was only giving Chiesa for about £10 million. And Chiesa didn't play at all. Like, he played only like 100 minutes in the Premier League. He didn't have any contribution to his title. So he won the league with basically no money spent. So Amorim, you cannot come and finish 15th. You cannot come and finish 10th. You cannot even come and finish out of UCL or European places. That's Europa League that's the Europa League. You're managing it. And expect to be given more time saying we'll suffer. What rubbish is that? Man United is not a club to suffer. Man United is a club that wins. So yeah, it's very good transfer window from Man United. They have absolutely schooled Newcastle. Newcastle just a disgrace, honestly. And this probably Man United, nice on bad belly. I probably cancelled the Isak transfer with this, but I'm seeing they might going for Jackson. But I think with the Sesko transfer, I was very sure Isak was coming because they will not spend up to 90 million euros and keep Isak. It's not possible. Their finances, they will enter problem with that. You understand? So with this now, Man United has killed 3 birds with 1 stone. In fact, they might have even blocked Xavi Simons leaving RB Leipzig too from Chelsea. They might have done that too. So kudos to them. They might have spoiled some Liverpool and Chelsea transfers with 1 single move. So if they have done that, fair play. But yeah, as I was saying, very good transfer. Let's see what Sesko will do. Let's see how many goals he can score. Let's wait to hear the last year we go from Fabrizio. He's a decent striker, better than Højlund. I said the striker is the position they must change. I said also they need a new goalkeeper and another midfielder. But most importantly, a midfielder. That is the heart. Like, that is what keeps the blood flowing in the team. But unfortunately, they have not invested in that yet, but have invested heavily in their attack. So let's see how that goes. Let's see what Amorim is cooking. Because right now, their midfield options, especially at that deep line playmaking midfield, that defensive midfield, their options now are not good. Ugarte and Casemiro, those are their main options there. And Mino also. Mino is good ahead. If you pair Mino with somebody, that's good. But you cannot come and be saying you want to play Bruno in a pivot or it's a disaster waiting to happen. That's not his forte at all. So Good transfer for Man United. Man United have lied to us that they don't have money, and they have showed us that they have money now. And Newcastle have ended up looking like absolute clowns, joke men. So let's see what unravels more in the transfer window. And crazy stuff, man. Thank you for watching this video. Please do make sure you like the video, subscribe, and share. We are close to 30,000 subscribers. We're gonna push to 100,000 subscribers this year. So do the needful. Do the needful, my people. Do it now. So thank you for watching this video. Adikaz takes us out. Peace out.